What's up, everybody? You're here with the Fly Guy. Today I just wanted to take a few minutes just to discuss a pattern that I fish in the spring for smallmouth in creeks and medium-sized rivers. It's called the featherfish. I will fish this pattern through maybe like the early summer up until that transition period where smallmouth in creeks and streams tend to switch over to feeding almost exclusively on crayfish, which is a really important time for fly anglers. So this pattern that I developed, it's pretty simple. It uses a lot of the techniques that you use when tying a larger style woolly bugger. It's composed almost exclusively out of feathers. It does have a little bit of flash and some rubber legs in there just for added effect. But basically the whole entire fly is feathers only. In the tail you've got marabou and soft hackles. There's soft hackles also incorporated into the head of the fly. There are traditional saddles, and then there are mallard flanks as well. So what that does is it gives more body and creates the illusion of a real meal underneath the water. It's not going to slim down and look almost anorexic and paper thin. When you start stripping it, it's still going to have body, and because of the mallard flanks being a little bit more stiff, what you'll run into is that will create a little bit of a kicking action if you try to incorporate pauses into your retrieve. The mallard flanks are up front, and they tend to be a little bit more rigid than other feathers. So that's why having them up front will give kind of like a neat barred look, because mallard flanks have a lot of detail in them, but they will kind of hold their shape a little bit more. And when you're retrieving a streamer like this, when you incorporate a pause, that width that head retains will enable you to get a kick while you're not really doing anything different to the fly other than maybe pausing your retrieve and then starting again. So it's nice to incorporate these types of natural materials into your flies to be able to get the most out of them and not just have a really thin, almost emaciated looking bait fish. When you're tying certain flies like a clouser minnow, you want the materials to be thin and sparse. When you're trying to tie kind of a mid-range bait fish or a larger streamer, you want your materials to kind of provide bulk for you so that it looks like a real mill, especially to a smallmouth. Now this pattern is not too large. I'm just going to give you a size context here. I've got a pen. It's not huge. This is roughly, this hook here is a wide gap hook. You could use like a Gamakatsu B10S, something to that extent. You'll get a nice profile, but this is the equivalent to a size 4 streamer hook. So this is not a massive streamer, but the profile has more body, and the more body you have, and the more size you have, even on a compact hook, it enables you to provide a better, healthier looking meal for that fish, even if the bait fish that you're trying to imitate might even be slightly smaller. By doing this, you provide a look of a real meal, and those fish will hit this fly very aggressively. When I'm fishing in the spring and smallmouth are hungry and they're preparing for the spawn, this fly gets taken down really hard. I've had some really savage takes on it. I do lose them to northern pike as well. This color combo seems to really get the job done here in Northeast Ohio, where I fish primarily. So the reason that I wanted to discuss this today was because sizing is so important when you go into a small creek or stream. And this type of a streamer can kind of give you the best of both worlds, where it's not too big, but yet it has enough profile and body to really represent a good meal to a fish and get them to commit. I know it's sexy to fish game changers that are 6 inches long, just massive flies, trying to entice the largest fish that you possibly can, and there's a time and a place for that. But there's nothing wrong with throwing something that's a little bit more matching the hatch and getting the size right and that coloration right to be able to entice these fish into hitting, because especially in low clear water conditions, You know, if you've got a spring or an early summer period where that water is low and clear, a fly like this, I tie it weightless. It doesn't slap against the water. It tracks right under the surface. I'm not losing it to the bottom when the water's low. And I still get all those same benefits that I mentioned previously when I'm targeting smallmouth. And what's cool is in the low clear water, when fish are reluctant to hit, you will see these fish come out and pursue this fly. So the feather fish really has a lot of uses. This fly, even though it's tied simplistically, what you'll see here is I've got soft hackles that accent the marabou, that give that barring. And the nice thing about soft hackles is they move when you're not doing anything to it. So if you're retrieving this fly and you pause, those soft hackles are still going to pulse and move and undulate a little bit. And in your package of soft hackles, you'll get some that are just flat out marabou. They're not even anything that you can truly hackle. So I save those feathers to use as accents. So I encourage you to do that with your flies too. You'll see some new possibilities come out. And I incorporate a little bit of flash in the back, nothing too crazy. There are rubber legs in here as well that are barred, but the body is a twisted hackle design. And I will be doing a tying demo on this soon, so stay tuned for that. That'll be dropping next week. And then I will be dropping the tying recipe tomorrow on Gumroad, and I will send out a notification here on the community tab here on YouTube and my other social media pages. So stay tuned for that, and I will have fishing footage of this fly. I'm going to be getting out there and showing you just how this fly works, and hopefully showing you some of the fish that I catch when I get out there in these creeks and streams this summer. Incorporated into the head design of this fly is really where this fly shines. The mallard flanks are tied on first, and then you have soft hackles up front. So you get kind of a taper and some bulk, and like I said before, that really creates a killer action. And it doesn't need to be articulated, but you could articulate this fly if you wanted to. So I just encourage you to kind of use this as a stepping off point and maybe add your own creative design to this fly. And the head design, I've got some color pop up there with some bronze and gold, with some gold eyes, and that really helps kind of marry all those colors together. And this, like I said before, this fly really fishes well in spring and early summer. Give this fly a shot. You may already have a fly similar to this in your arsenal when targeting smallmouth, but give it a shot. Like I said, the recipe is going to drop tomorrow, and then the tying demo will be next week. I will post that on Friday. If you like this video, go ahead and hit thumbs up, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more fly fishing and fly tying videos. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.